Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Rurouni Kenshin episode number 12 reaction. So the previous episode was the beginning of a series of battles. The first battle was against Hanya, Kenshin versus Hanya. The next one was Sanosuke versus that big guy, I forgot his name. And we get to see them, going through them and obviously going towards the final boss, that is Aoshi, and trying to save Megumi. So first of all, the battle with Hanya, Kenshin fought him, and in the end, we get to know a little bit more about Hanya, and like how he has also like a sad past. But Kenshin, as Kenshin says in the end, that you had a sad past, so you should have been the first one to sympathize with Megumi. You didn't do that, and he defeated him. And then in the end, Sanosuke fights the big guy, and he's very strong and he's very powerful, but in the end Sanosuke shows him the difference between their strength and Genshin's strength. Genshin's strength comes from within. However, these people are just a bunch of guys who wants to just make make a mess and fight, and it's like purely physical for them. And and shows him and defeats him. And finally we get in front of Aoshi, so Kenshin is going to battle him. We have Yahiko with us. My guess would be Yahiko will probably slip in and try to go and save Megumi, and while Kenshin will be fighting Aoshi. Let's see. Okay, so let us get started. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it whichever is your preference, and let's get started. Right, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Here we go. Ooh. Right. Hmm. Okashira Aoshi Shinomori. All right. Okay, Yahiko. Yeah. Damn. Uh, yeah, he's gonna go and help Megumi. Oh, it's something else? What is between cousin? Ah, I see. It lacks in something. I see. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, here we. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, he has. Goddamn. Oh my god. Oh. And then yeah, attacks like okay, that's interesting. True, he did say that. Hanya did say that. Oh my god. Yeah, obviously not. They don't care about him. Who even cares about him? Yeah, I don't know. He was saying that he just wants to fight. Battle of the. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Is that like really the whole reason? Yeah, but why are you like trying to like do it now? Like yeah, but that is what if. Why are you what? Look what? Okay. You are just. Okay, is his goal really to make a what type of reason is this? He just wants to make a mess out of threw themselves into battle. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Oh! Oh god, this guy. Can these guys please leave? Yeah, what? Great. Great. What? Great. Yeah, here we go. Like he got something from that person I remember in the one episode. Mm. Yeah. Yeah, like I've seen Kenshin do this before. That he kind of tests the opponent first, and then he like goes all out. Okay. Oh yo! Oh my God! Oh yeah. Oh, that's why he held it from that part so that he'll make a mistake. Yeah, he'd make a mistake in the reach. That's why he held it like that. Uh, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's why he held it like that. There you go. True. I will take it down. Okay, what is he doing now? The hell? Okay. Yeah, it's for battle. Stillness and motion. Oh! Ooh! Wait, it's three. Damn. Three slashes. He did it so quickly that would. Well, now you've shown all your trump cards. I don't think so. That's a very shallow wound. Okay, don't count your chickens before they hatch. Hmm. Immortal. Wait, what? Oh, he blocked it with. I think he blocked it. Yeah. You're forgetting it. Kenshin always tests the water first and then now he'll know what to do. Because he has seen this technique first. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna work now. Yep. Oh my god. Yeah, he dodged it again. What the? Did he grab his hand or something? Only unarmed technique. Yeah. Ugh! God damn! Yo, headbutt! And punch! Well, for a Kempo master, that's. I feel like that's appropriate. Just unarmed battle. Well, yeah, there you go. Oh, he. God damn! You don't listen, do you? Okay. No, I doubt that he died. This guy's such a big problem. Yeah. Ah, and that's why, like, he went unconscious. Okay. Now Kanyu is going to do something foolish. Oh wait. Oh my god. He just got up again. Great. 10 seconds. Well, yeah, that is not his goal. Yeah, but he doesn't. He just wants to fight. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, that's true. Probably because of his teammates. Yeah, his teammates. The whole Onya one. Because we did see that he cares about them quite a bit. Yeah, that's why he stayed here for their sake. Hmm. Yeah, just like how he left his people and just. Hmm. Listen up, ours. Okay. Ghost editor. Oh, there were more of them, and who probably like went on their way. Hmm. Interesting. Don't worry, Kandu is going to come now. Anytime. Let's see when he's going to pop up. Ah, there he is! Great. I'm pretty sure he has a gun, a Gatling gun or something like. Alright, stop it. He definitely has a gun. I'm sure of it. Up there you go, a Gatling gun. I knew it. It's a Gatling gun, isn't it? How did I guess? Because a similar scene happened in another anime. I'll talk about it in the discussion section. Oh god. I feel like Kenshin could easily take care of him. Just throw his sword towards him or something. I don't I don't know. Something like that. Hey yo, you just. Oh my god. Uh, yeah. Uh, yeah. Slap him awake. Wait, oh, they're here, aren't they? I forgot about that. Hmm. Oh my god. Uh, I hope someone comes and hits him in the head from his back. Oh! Oh my god. Oh wow, what a surprise. Never would have guessed that. Wow. You want a medal? Well, he doesn't care. Dude, shut up. You're gonna say something about like, oh, guns can easily do it, and yeah, money can easily do it. You're so stupid. Anyone can just come and just whack him in the head from the back. Please, someone do that. Someone please do that. Where is everyone? Oh god. You. Oh god. Oh my god. Ah! Wait, what? They ended over there? Oh my god. What type of cliffhanger is this? They couldn't have ended in any other section? What? Okay. Oh my god. Hmm. Okay, there you go. That was this episode. So yeah, this was the episode of the for the battle between Kenshin and Aoshi, and then Kanryu's the thing that he does in the end. That was basically this episode. So this episode, like mostly it was Kenshin versus Aoshi. We get to know a bit more of him and how and why he is still in the Onyoban, because he didn't want to just leave his subordinates and just go on his own way, because as Kenshin says, you must have gotten a lot of offers to, like go and act as like some kind of commanding officer or someone in a higher position, like a person who is as strong as him. But as he says that no, like I might be able to do that, but my people here, there's a lot of them who has a lot of different circumstances and who wouldn't really be able to adapt, and nobody will be able to accept them like that. So that's why I stayed here. And now here's an interesting thing I just thought about, and I just realized it seems like he's talking about how he's going to, like make, like he's trying to like put the whole, like like place in chaos, trying to, like like fight, and like that's all his goal is, just fighting and making a mess, which is obviously something I was like, what type of goal is this? Like, so all he wants to do is just fight, and like like just like that's all, like there's no other different goal, like something, like characters have goals. But I just realized by the end of it that he says something while talking about the Onyoban. He says something like, my men are people who all they can do is fight. There's a, like especially the five of them, the ones that are with him currently, Hyotoko, Beshimi, Hanya, that guy, the big one, him, these four, these four, they are people who only knows how to fight, and that's all they know, and that is why they won't be able to fit in anywhere else. And that's why he kept this group. And I just thought about it in the end that maybe that was also another reason why he just, since they are the only, all they know is to fight, that's why maybe he's doing all of these things, because that's how they find fulfillment. Maybe Aoshi himself could have changed, or like he said, like he got a lot of offers. Maybe he could have gone there, maybe he could have adapted himself. Obviously, like Aoshi is also someone who is accustomed to only fighting, but maybe he could have changed himself and adapted himself to something different now that it's peacetime. But he knew that his people won't be able to do that, and that's why he kept going in this path, even though he probably would have been able to come out of this path and maybe change himself. But he didn't, because if he does that, what will his people do? They are the ones who will be trouble, and because they don't know anything other than what they are doing, that is fighting. He might be able to adapt himself, he might be able to change, but his subordinates won't. At least most of them won't. They'll become someone, like who isn't needed in this world, in this peaceful world. So that is why he decided to keep going on this path, even though he probably could have changed. He himself decided not to just to stay and give his people a place to come back to. And as he says in the end, that he had a lot of subordinates, a lot of them were able to adapt and kind of move on with their lives, but these four were the ones who weren't able to, and they just stayed here with him. And I feel like if someday these four were able to, I don't know, somehow adapt to the peaceful world and actually like find something that they want to do except fighting, and they found their own way and moved on, Aoshi probably would have moved on himself. He, like, this is just what I'm thinking, and that's the vibe it gave me by the end of it, that he kept going on this way in this bloody path because he knew his subordinates only know this one path. That's why he decided to walk it with them. As soon as his subordinates, maybe they found some other thing, maybe they were able to adapt to this peaceful world and they moved on, and he was left alone, he himself would have moved on then and there. He wouldn't keep going on this blood filled path. He himself would have moved on then, but he just kept on going because his people, they needed someone to be with them and lead them and give them a place to come back to. That's the vibe I got by the end of it. Like, yeah, obviously he himself is like, someone like this who wants to fight, and he himself has this, like, crazy urge to battle, like, like, and as he said, like, I want to make this place, like, like, burn this place and all that stuff. Yeah, he has those things within him, just like his subordinates. He also always, he just wants to fight, but he definitely could have changed, but he decided not to change just because of his subordinates, because if he changes, what will they do? They'll all be alone, they'll be left without a leader, and he didn't want that. That's what I got by the end of it. Something like that. you know okay, now that was the first thing that I realized from this episode. I don't know if my interpretation is correct or incorrect, but that's what I thought after watching this. Not only that, here we get to see Kenshin's battle and his way of unarmed fighting as well, and he uses that very skillfully to stop Aoshi. And like, this is one thing I saw before as well. Kenshin does this always. At first it seems that he's getting defeated or he's getting beaten up, but that's just his way of testing the waters and seeing what the opponent can do. And as soon as he's able to realize the opponent's technique, he then unleashes his own counter to it. And that's what he does here again. At the beginning, whenever like the battle begun, you saw he was getting beaten up and getting hurt. That was just him testing what the opponent can do. And then after he realized what he does, he then found a new counter to it by kind of holding his katana in a different position so that the reach changes and the blind spot doesn't get created. So that's what he did. Then comes the whole Aoshi, when Aoshi tries to use that skill, that battle dance thing that he did. Again, that was new to Kenshin. Kenshin didn't realize what he was doing. So he lets himself get hit, and he cannot do anything then. And after getting hit and after like somehow surviving that, he thought of another counter to it, so that when Aoshi tries to use the same technique again to him, he counters it immediately by doing that unarmed technique that he did, and was able to defeat him. Like, that's what he does. Like, he always sees what the opponent. And like, for Kenshin, I feel like there's like a term, I think, where they say the same technique won't work twice. That is so true for Kenshin. The same technique won't work twice for Kenshin. So I feel like if you have to defeat, and if you want to defeat Kenshin, you have to do it in one chance. Otherwise, it's going to be a problem if you use it one time and Kenshin doesn't get defeated. If you try to use it again, Kenshin will counter it immediately. No techniques works twice on Kenshin. That's what I have gathered from these couple of episodes. These 10. What episode is this? 12, I think. Yeah. From these 12 episodes, this is what I have gathered, because that's what he always does. I've seen him do that so many times before. In the previous battle with Jine as well, I think that was his name. Yeah. And the other battles we saw him, he does the same thing. He tests the opponent first, and then when he tries to use the same techniques twice, he counters it immediately. And yeah. And what else? Oh, and then the whole Kanyu situation. Now, the Kanyu situation, why I was able to guess he has a Gatling gun? How was I able to particularly pinpoint he has a Gatling gun? Because this, a similar anime had a similar scene like this. Like, in these, days, older days, guns were like a very, I guess you could say, like a very new thing that was kind of popping up. Something like that. And I remember another anime, it's called Golden Kamuy. There's a similar scene like that where a certain character goes to a person, and the person is like an arms dealer, and he's like, oh, I have a beautiful thing for you, and brings out a Gatling gun, and the guy's like, damn, this is so beautiful. And he's like, yeah, like it shoots like 200 bullets at this speed or something. This is some crazy stuff. And he's like, yeah, this is so beautiful, like, what an amazing thing. That anime had such a scene. So seeing Kanyu in one of these episodes going to this arms dealer and seeing something and being so surprised and being so amazed, I'm like, yeah, that is a Gatling gun. Because like, we see that guns existed here. Obviously those, like the gun that those two brothers used, remember? So what could it be that would make Kanyu so make his eyes glow up so much? A Gatling gun. Because Gatling guns are obviously definitely something that is probably being introduced here for the first time, and it's like something new. And seeing something like that, Kanye was like, damn, this is amazing. I can just completely destroy everyone with this thing. And yeah, there you go. And obviously, Kenshin can easily just cut off bullets. So a normal gun wouldn't really work on him. I don't think stuff like maybe machine guns will work, but maybe like submachine guns and stuff, I doubt it's going to work on Kenshin. So that's why I was like, yeah, it must be something that's going to actually threaten their position. What else is there? A Gatling gun. So as soon as he brought that big thing up on with the cloth, I'm like, yeah, it's a Gatling gun. And what else could this guy think of? And yeah, that is exactly what it was. And this scene was so, I don't know, like, it was so unfortunate that there weren't anyone behind. Like, if there was someone over there on the other side of Kanyu, he could have easily come and just whacked him on the head and defeated him immediately. Because this guy is only powerful behind the Gatling gun. Face to face, this guy is nothing. You can just slap him twice and he'll just go unconscious. Kanyu, I'm talking about Kanyu. So he probably was the most easiest opponent to defeat, but the positioning of R, which was behind, in front of the Gatling gun, was so disadvantageous. There weren't anyone behind Kanyu. If there was someone behind Kanyu, they could have easily taken care of him. And it's difficult to kind of change the position and take time to change the position of the Gatling gun. So if someone snuck up on him and just whacked him on his head, it's over for Kanyu. But unfortunately, there weren't anyone there on the other side. Everyone was there here in this room, or on the other side of the room that is in front of the Gatling gun. So if anyone tries to sneak and go on the other direction, he'll probably just shred them with his hail of bullets. So that was the big problem here. And yeah, so there you go. That was this episode. The way this episode ended was so weird. I've never seen any anime end in a way like that. Why? Like, oh, goddamn. But anyways, let's wait for the next week and see. Now it seems like this big guy might actually die here. But again, in one of the previous episodes, in the previous episode, you remember how Sanosuke was like, oh, like if you're able to get out of your this mentality of fighting, come to me, come to our place, and Kenshin can teach you what true strength is, or something like that, he said. I remember. And that is why in the previous episode I was like, oh, maybe he'll become a good guy in the future. But seeing him almost sacrificing himself for Aoshi, maybe he's just going to die here. I don't know. Let's wait and see. He's a big person, he's a big man, he has a lot of muscles. He did get shredded by a hail of bullets, but I doubt he's going to do anything against a Gatling gun. Like, if he was shot by like a gun or a pistol or something, maybe he could have survived. Because like I said, he has thick skin, he has muscles and everything. One bullet probably couldn't do anything to him. But that was like a hail of bullets, and he just got shot like multiple times. So, let's see. Let's wait and see. Okay, but they did say something about him amplifying his muscles by drinking some kind of thing. So maybe that's going to save him from, I don't know. You know what? Let's wait for the next episode. And we do have Megumi with us, who can probably patch him up. But I don't think, it's very difficult for him to survive from that. I don't know. Let's wait and see. Okay, so that was this whole episode. Now I'm going to talk about this episode step by step, just like I usually do. Go scene by scene. So there you go. Alright. So in this episode, we begin with Kenshin confronting Aoshi. And yeah, their battle begins. And you can see that at first, Yahiko's like, wait, you have a wakizashi? Okay. But it's actually a kodachi. I think that's what he says. Wait a minute. Wait. Yeah, if that really was a wakizashi, I wouldn't have a hard time. Yeah, it's a kodachi. There you go. So he's like, a kodachi is like smaller than, longer than a wakizashi, but smaller than a katana. And he says that it lacks offensive power. However, it has high defensive power. So going against that would be highly disadvantageous. So he starts the battle. He starts fighting against Kenshin, and so Kenshin realizes as he keeps fighting is that he uses Kempo, and at the same time he uses Wakizashi to defend. So he has like the absolute defense and the absolute offense at the same time. He defends himself using the Wakizashi, and he fights using his martial arts. So, and yeah, it's like, if you remember when we fought Hanya, he himself said that, Aoshi is the one who trained him. So there it makes sense. He'll be stronger than Hanya in martial arts. Okay. So he says, I have nothing personal against you, but, yeah, but we have a different goal. And Kenshin asks him, so you're actually not working for Kanyu? So he says like, yeah, obviously not. If you are an imperialist, you should know. Okay, I'm going to read this part because he says a few things which are related to the history of this place. Okay, he says that as soon as Yoshinobu, the final shogun of Tokugawa, found the shogunate's army was inferior, he and his top retainers left Osaka Castle by themselves, returning to Edo by battleship. He abandoned 10,000 soldiers, risking their lives fighting on the battlefield. After he fled back to Edo, decided on an absolute compliance at Kane Temple at Ueno after talks between Kaishukatsu, who was given full responsibility, and Takamori Saigo, the imperial Edo castle, ended up being surrendered with no bloodshed. So, okay, here's the thing. He himself kind of says in the end that him leaving and abandoning his people and going there and taking that decision did end up ultimately saving us all. However, the fact that he betrayed them and left them and abandoned them is something that he doesn't want to do, and he hated. And that is why he doesn't want to, Aoshi doesn't want to leave his people and abandon them just like him. Like, he understands what he did ended up being beneficial by the end, I guess. I think that's what he says. But the fact that to do that, he had to make the sacrifice of so many people was something that he wasn't able to accept. So it's in his head, he understands the significance of that, but even though he understands it, he doesn't want to do the same thing that he did. Okay, and the Onyaban group ended the Bakumatsu era without fighting. Okay, so he says, we don't care about the coward Tokugawa anymore. Our only regret is the fact that we could not fight. There's no ifs in the flow of history, but if we had fought back then, and he kind of says like what we would have done, how we would have defeated the imperialist army and all that. The victory of the revolution would have belonged to the shogunate. And he says like, oh, you know what we would have done? We would have created a huge fire in Edo, and then we, the Onyaban group, would kill the imperial officers at the heart of the army in the chaos. After that, what remains is an unorderly mob. The shogunate army superior in numbers can crush them all. Like, that was their goal. And he's like, oh, we would have done that. And he's like, oh, you want to see we do that and recreate that now? We can easily do that here in here. We can burn this place, and we can burn Tokyo. So obviously here you can see how this whole section kind of paints him in this light where it's as if like, since they were taken out of battle suddenly, they don't know what to do, and they still want to keep going on and do the battle. Like characters like this, we've seen them a lot in animes and other shows, where people who are so heavily involved in battle and all they know to do is battle. If peacetime comes suddenly, they don't know what to do, because when peacetime comes, obviously people won't really need them anymore, because all they know is to fight. Throughout their whole lives, all they have done is fight. And that is what has made them so ruthless and so strong. So suddenly when peacetime comes, nobody needs them anymore. And they, like most of them who are not able to adapt to this peaceful society, they lose their path, they lose their way, and they become criminals. And they kind of go in a different direction. A lot of them are able to adapt to the peaceful society, and for them it's all well and good. But there are people like these few guys, as later on Aoshi says, that all they know is how to fight. So I didn't want to abandon them, and that's why I gave them a place to come back to, which is here. Like, he had a lot of chances to become an officer or probably adapt himself to the peaceful world, but he didn't want to do that just because of his people, and he didn't want to leave them just like the shogunate did to his 10,000 men. And that's the whole thing. So here you can see it seems here like, obviously in this section, it seems like he's this crazy person who has still not been able to get out of this whole battle mentality, and that's why he's like, oh, we could have done this, we and you want me to recreate it here in Tokyo, I can burn this place and all that stuff. But like later on we realize that the major reason why he is like this currently is probably because of his men, because he knows if he changes, his men will have nobody to come back to. So that's why he decided not to change. Maybe he could have changed, maybe Aoshi could have changed and adapted himself to this peaceful world, but he decided not to because of his men, those four who won't be able to adapt. Because they won't be able to adapt, he decided not to adapt and keep being the same way, to give them a place to come back to. I don't know, that's just my interpretation of this whole thing. Okay, right, so after that, Genshin's like, oh no, we cannot allow you to do that. Whether you're a revolutionary warrior or a shogunate warrior, we antagonized each other, but neither was righteous and neither was mistaken. But there was one thing that was common in us, is that we risked our lives for the people. Be it in the shogunate group, be it in the imperial group, the goal was almost the same. And yeah, but you guys don't have any of that. I cannot sit quietly and let you go away with it. So they start their battle, and you can see that Kenshin up until now was, like just testing the water. So he starts countering Aoshi. And yeah, while all of this is happening over there, Kanryu is hatching his master plan. He's like, oh, what should I do? Like, like Aoshi cannot be lured in with money. But all I have is money, I'm a worthless human being who has nothing else other than money. So if Aoshi doesn't work for money, I'm all alone. What should I do? And then he realizes, when one of his people comes in, he's like, oh wait, I had a Gatling gun. I can use that on them. Haha. I can defeat them all at the same place. Yeah, that was his plan. So there you go. And then we are back to the battle again. And you can see that Kenshin is not able to do anything. He's still testing the waters. He's still seeing his techniques and adapting and trying to think of a method to counter him. And you can see Yahiko's very afraid. Yahiko's like, damn, this guy is actually crazy. So now we see Kenshin's like, alright, time for me to, counter. So he goes and attacks, and here for the first time Aoshi kind of is not able to read his movements, because he's holding the sword, the katana, in the blade part. And that kind of lowered, lessened the reach that Kenshin had. Now, this is one thing that I've always seen in animes. One of the major things that is important in swordplay is that you see the opponent's weapon, you see the reach, and seeing the reach, you calculate as to how much distance you need to keep from the other so that you can dodge, So you always see the reach of the other person's katana, and that's how you fight and dodge. So tricking, if you're able to trick the opponent into misremembering or misunderstanding the reach of your weapon, that is a huge advantage for you. And that's what Kenshin does here. Kenshin up until now was fighting with the whole katana. He held it in the base, the hilt part, and that's how he fought. So if he suddenly changed the reach from there to the middle of the sword where he grabs it now, the reach kind of small, kind of becomes smaller. So now, if that's what he says in the end, and that's what I realized. Now Aoshi knows that his reach is this long, so that's why he went so close to him that he's closer to the blind spot of that long of a reach. If a sword is this long, yeah, obviously it's advantageous to reach a long distance. However, it's disadvantageous when you go very close to it and reach its blind spot. The more longer the sword is, the blind spot, the bigger it is, and there's like a zone in the middle of it where if you are able to go in that zone, the katana is rendered useless. So now that Kenshin has grabbed the middle of the sword, the reach shortens, and the blind spot also shortens. The range shortens. Aoshi doesn't know that. That's why Aoshi goes in close to the katana so that he's in the blind spot. And then he realizes that that's actually not the blind spot because he changed the reach of the sword. And now he's in trouble. As soon as he went closer to the sword, he's well within reach of that small range. Like that was the whole thing here. It was a very clever move like that Kenshin did here. And it kind of tricked Aoshi into coming close to Kenshin because he thought that, oh, going close to Kenshin won't be a problem because I'll be within the blind spot of the long katana, But then he realized like, oh no, the blind spot have moved because the reach is lower now. The blind spot is not there anymore. I'm well within the reach of the katana now. And that's what it happened when it happened, He uses the base of the sword to hit him over here in the throat, and bam, that's all it took. Like if you hit a blind spot like that, not blind spot, sorry, if you hit like a weak spot like that, oh god, you're gonna get rattled. So he like kind of goes back, and Yahiko kind of remembers Kaoru's teaching to him about the reach and everything. And yeah, but then Aoshi's like, alright, I know your trick now I'm going to use something different. So he uses his sword dance, like that technique that he does, and he calls it like a water, what did he call it? Okay, you use sword to swordsmanship that clearly differentiates stillness from motion. You cannot possibly catch the movement of flowing water. There you go, fluctuating speed at will. And that's what he was doing. And he comes in and slashes Kenshin 3 times over here, and Kenshin falls down. And he's like, oh, it's over for you. And Yahiko's like, oh no, it's not over. Even if Kenshin is down, I will not let you go. Like move any forward. And yeah, but then Kenshin gets up, and Kenshin's like, all right, I see. So what he did is he used his sheath to guard at that exact moment, lowering the blow and lowering the damage it got to him. So, like the wound was shallower than it would have been. So now he's like, all right, you know what? Now I'm going to counter. He tries to use the same technique again, Aoshi, but like I said, no same techniques will work twice on Kenshin. And that is why this time, when he tries to attack him, Kenshin uses his swords to parry. Not only that, he tries to counter and grab his sword with the other hand. He kind of switches his hand and tries to attack like this. However, Kenshin stops that as well by putting his hand on the same, same place. Okay, and then finally, he just uses throws his sword away and grabs the opponent's, that is Aoshi's, Kodachi, I think that's what he called it, yeah. Kodachi, like this, he kind of grabs it. And yeah, he says the name of this technique is Hiten Mitsurigi Ryukosen. And yeah, it's an unarmed technique. It's the only unarmed technique in Hiten Mitsurigi Ryu. Yeah? Okay, indeed, I cannot grasp your movement similar to flowing water. However, if it's the moment where you switch to attacking with Kaiten Kenbu, I can counter it through barely. And he's like, yeah, you want to be strong, you can take it. I don't want that. I don't want the title of the strongest swordsman or any of that crap. That such a title is annoying at the best for me. For my current self, those that await my aid and those that wait for my return, they are the ones who are important, and they are all that I care about. And yeah, he uses the hilt of the sword to hit him again at the same place. God damn. I think. Yeah, in the same place, here again. And this was crazy. Even after getting hit at the weak point again, he actually gathers enough courage and punches Kenshin, but then he falls unconscious. So Kenshin kind of says that after I hurt his throat with 2 of my powerful blows, he unleashed an attack that required a deep breath, and that is why the oxygen just stopped going in his head for a moment, and he fell unconscious. Yeah, it's natural that he suffered great pain and had difficulty breathing. You know, yeah. So he's like, yeah, there you go. But then Aoshi gets up again, and Aoshi's like, you're strong. You attack. You defeated me. Now you can kill me or use the final blow on me. Okay, so Kenshin here asks him, like answer my one question, Aoshi. Like you definitely would have gotten enough, offers to change and like adapt and go to some other thing, do some other thing. Why did you not do it? And then he says that because of my people. And not only these four, there were more people in the Onyaban as well. They moved on, but these four weren't able to move on. And this is what I was talking about in the first section of the discussion, where I talked about how this kind of section made me realize, like maybe, like Kenshin says, Aoshi had a lot of chances to adapt, move on from this, and live his own life in a peaceful world. But he decided not to do that because he knew if he does that, his people will all be abandoned. Because they cannot do that. They only know how to fight. If he can adapt and go on with his life. But the other people who won't be able to adapt will be left alone. And that's what he didn't want to do. So as he says in the end, that I had a big group, but a lot of the people were able to move on actually from my group as well. Only these four weren't able to, and they're stuck with me. And that is why he's still here. So that is why I was thinking, like maybe in the future, if someday these four were able to move on with their life and adapt to this peaceful world and went on their way, and then only I feel like Aoshi would be able to move on his, with his life as well and stop this. He could have stopped this anytime, but he deliberately decided not to because of his people. Because he knew if he stops, his people might not be able to, and they will be all left alone. That's what I think at least. Anyways, while they were having this conversation, in comes Kanryu, and he's like, look at me, I have a Gatling gun, ha ha ha, and starts shooting at them. And everyone listens to the noise. You get to see like Sanosuke like gets up, and Hanya's there, and Hanya's like, I don't want to fight you anymore, I'm just concerned about Aoshi. And the other guy also gets up, and yeah, they're on their way over there. Hyotoko and Beshimi are also like woken up by the noise, and they're like, let's go and see what's going on. And over there we see Kenshin grabs Yahiko and dodges the bullets. Aoshi also tries to dodge the bullets, but he kind of gets hit in the legs and stuff, because obviously he got hit 2 or 3 times in the neck by Kenshin. He's barely even able to move. So yeah, it was impossible for him to dodge those bullets. So he falls down, and here Kanryu say, oh, let me get a little smoke break, and let me tell you about what is actual power. And he starts with his garbage philosophy of what power is. And he's like, oh, I'm going to be an arms dealer, gathering funds through the new opium, and with this Gatling gun as my main product, I will make an assault on my competitors. And he's like, oh, then the great merchant Kanryu Takeda will be born. And he's like, alright, Kenshin, let me tell you, you're so strong, but you definitely haven't gained that, just in one day. You went through extraordinary effort, weren't you? But still, if you have money, you can gain power that surpasses even that. Look at me, I have money, I have this Gatling gun, I'm so strong, haha. Yeah, that was Takeda Kanyu's philosophy. What a as expected of an entrepreneur, he's such a great entrepreneur. He has a way with words, doesn't he? Yeah, good God. And then in comes these few guys, Hyotoko, Beshimi, all of them starts coming in. No, wait, Hyotoko and Beshimi is not here. Those two are here. Hanya and the other guy. They come here, and the big guy, he's like, sees that, Kanyu is going to shoot them. So he attacks Aoshi first because he couldn't move. But the big guy, he moves and protects him with his body. And that's why it decided to just end abruptly. So let's see what happens next week. And yeah, like Kaniro is a weird dude. He's these type of characters are so stupid. Like, what does he think? His Gatling gun can stop all these people? He thinks he can defeat all of them using one Gatling gun? There's like so many of them. And that's why, in the end, he kind of panics when he realizes there's more people than he can aim at. And they were like in different places. What an idiot. Like, how can these. And I don't know what, like, the final section kind of confused me. I feel like Kenshin could have easily stopped him there. When he was talking, when he was like, getting his smoke break or whatever. Oh, but I guess he probably had his gun aimed at Aoshi. That's probably why Kenshin didn't move. Because if he tried to move, he probably would have shot Aoshi. Like, Kenshin probably could have dodged the bullets. However, Aoshi couldn't. That's probably why Kenshin didn't take any steps. Because I was like, I feel like Kenshin can easily take care of him. Like, because, like, he can easily dodge and probably go close to him and just attack him. And just like a katana, a Gatling gun also has a blind spot. If you get too close to the Gatling gun, like, he cannot really move it quicker enough to get Kenshin. And Kenshin is fast. So I was like, yeah, he could have easily done that. But I'm guessing he didn't do that at that particular moment of time because he was pointing his gun at Aoshi. And if Kenshin made a single move, he would have shot Aoshi then. That's probably why Kenshin didn't do anything. And when he shot either way towards Aoshi, the big guy comes and protects him. So yeah, there you go. Let's wait and see what happens. I'm not really sure what's going to happen to the big guy. He, like I said in the previous episode, there was a section when I thought he's going to become good in the future because Sanse kind of told him that, oh, come, Kenshin will teach you and all that. But now that I see him sacrificing himself almost. Maybe he can survive. I don't think there's any chance for him surviving. If it was an ordinary person, he would have died then and there. But this guy's big, strong. He has like this kind of like, the stuff that he consumed, the elixir, whatever he consumed, that made his muscles strong or whatever. And we also have Megumi here, who probably can, I don't know, like patch him up. But still, even with all of that, surviving that amount of bullets from a Gatling gun, it's kind of impossible. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen to him. Let's wait and see. So yeah, there you go. That is it. That's my reaction to episode 12 of Rurouni Kenshin. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. And yes, that is it. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next week with another episode of Rurouni Kenshin. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.